Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Compassion Club. My name is Ashley Taylor, and thank you so much for being here. If you're a new listener or if you're returning, I appreciate you so much. And this is a podcast that is meant to open your mind, open your heart. We're talking about important topics that maybe we're sometimes too scared to talk about, or we just need to shed some light on, and just leading our life with more compassion, more self-love, more understanding, and just figuring out ways that we can be our happiest, most brightest, authentic self. And today we are actually going to be talking about how to make bad days your best friend. And I stopped believing that there is such thing as a bad day. I don't believe there's bad days. There's good days and there's growth days. They're not bad. They're growth days. But before we dive into that, make sure you follow or subscribe or like on whatever platform you are watching or listening on, because we do have the audio and the visuals on YouTube, and we have so much exciting stuff coming up, and this is only the beginning. So yeah, join the Compassion Club. All right, let's get into it. So making bad days your best friend, because life is full of ups and downs, and I have realized that that is just how it is. And there's no need to beat yourself up if you have a bad day. It's totally normal and it's necessary. It's just the flow of life. And there are days when I wake up and I'm just not feeling my best, and I'm just feeling a bit in a funk. I'm just feeling a bit out of it. I don't have the same motivation and positivity that I try to have on most days, and I'm just not really feeling like myself. And this has happened, this happens to all of us. And about a year and a half ago, or I guess 2 years, I was diagnosed with depression, and I think it was honestly situational depression because of the circumstances I was in and the phase of my life at that time, and it was just a lot at once, and it sent me into a depressive hole. And those are really tough days to get out of, and I slowly learned ways that I could pull myself out of these negative mindsets, but some days are harder than others. And these are just some ways that I've learned over time on how to deal with bad days. And now that I'm in a more clear-minded headspace, and it's been a journey, and it does take work every day to keep up this positive mindset, because naturally our brains seek the negative and spot out the negative. Like we'll get 1,000 positive comments, but then we'll get like one negative, and that's the one that stands out to us. And it's the same in our life. We have so many good things that happen to us every day, so many things to be grateful for, so many, like, just the fact that we have food and water and a shelter. Like, we have so much, and yet one little thing happens, someone pisses you off, or the smallest thing happens while you're at the grocery store that just makes you upset, and it could like ruin your whole day, when really there is so much to be happy about. And it's crazy that our brains just focus on the negative. So we have to try extra hard to get out of that headspace and stay in the positive. And I also realized when it's a hard day to just choose compassion and patience for myself, and realize that this is just a part of life, and that emotions are not permanent. And if you're going through a hard time, even if it's more than a hard day, even if it's a hard week or a hard month, just remembering that this is normal, and we're human, and we go through these changing emotions that we can't really control. We can only control part of it, and there is a way that we can control how we react to it, but we can't control that initial feeling. And a lot of times circumstances can be really hard, and things happen to us that are terrible, and things happen to people we love, and it's hard to see the light in those situations, and understanding that it's okay to have days that are just hard days and that can be seen as bad days, and to just choose patience and kindness. And on those days, just be a little extra tender to yourself and do things that nurture your soul, and take a break from some of the hard stressors. Life is stressful and we are expected so much from ourselves sometimes. We are our harshest critics, and other people might criticize us, but we criticize us like 10 times more. And our body is supposed to be our safety. It is just our home while we're on this earth. I truly believe that we are souls, we are energy, and this is just our shell. This is our little avatar while we're on this planet, and it's supposed to feel safe. It's supposed to feel like a place that is your home, and we've turned it into this crazy negative, like, scary place. Like, it's sometimes a nightmare to be in our own body, and we are controlled by our thoughts, which you are not your thoughts. You are not your thoughts. And this is something that has really changed how I can see a lot more positive, and it's honestly come from meditation and just focusing on your breath. And through meditation, it has helped me realize that I'm not my thoughts, and that flots. It has helped me realize that I am not my thoughts. And thoughts just like pop into your head. They're just like these random streams sometimes that you just like feel like you can't stop. But you can, and you just have to become aware of them. And I'll be meditating, and then all of a sudden I'm thinking about like a TikTok idea, or I'm thinking about what I'm going to do later that day, or I'm thinking about a conversation I had with someone, and then I'm like, whoa. let's get back to the breath, because I'm now in a completely different space. And it's crazy how when you think of a thought, it can just take you somewhere else. Like, then all of a sudden you're like deep in this other universe in your mind. And by just acknowledging that it is just a thought and then letting it pass has been one of the biggest tools in my life this past year, I guess. And realizing that you're going to have negative thoughts, and you're going to have that little devil on your shoulder that whispers in your ear and says that you're not good enough, or that today is a terrible day, or things aren't going to get better. And that is just not true. That is not you speaking. That is just a thought, and you do not need to attach yourself to that thought. It's really hard to control your thoughts, and sometimes they just pop up, but we can acknowledge them, and we can say, is that actually true? When I actually think about it, is it true? Am I the worst? No, you're not. And even if you feel like you are, that is a lie. And you need to start reprogramming your brain to stop telling you these lies. And if they come up, you need to replace it with a positive thought and be like, no, I can do this. Even if it feels like a lie, you need to start retraining your mind, because I promise you, you are so much more capable than you know. And you do not want to be controlled by your thoughts. You don't want to be controlled by anything. You are so much more powerful than all these other things. And you need to start treating yourself with more love and kindness. And it all starts from this, I swear. Like, this is what really helped me. And the reason meditation helps is because when you're meditating, it's a lot more noticeable when a thought pops into your head, and you can really acknowledge it. Oh, Jesus, I have like a hair tickling me. I got it. When you're meditating, you can really notice when a thought pops in your head, and you just acknowledge it. You say, this is a passing thought. And then you let it pass, and you refocus on your breath, and you keep breathing, and you focus on the present moment, and you focus on your body. And if you're able to use that in your everyday life, it will transform the way you live. Because now, I used to be my biggest critic. I used to be my biggest bully. And I would always have these negative like voices in my head. And it's so hard. Like once you get used to it, you don't even realize it anymore. And it's just like a part of who you are. And so when these negative thoughts now they come up into my head and they tell me that I'm not good enough or that I can't do this, I immediately just shut it down. And I'm like, no, that is just a thought. That is not me. And I push that to the side and I tell myself, I can do this. I believe in myself. Everyone else is out here doing things, and I'm just as capable to do these things. And I'm not going to let my mind be the one that holds me back from doing what I love. And I'm not going to let other people's minds hold me back from doing what I know deep down I'm capable of. And you are also capable of, because we are all capable to do the things that we want to do. It's just giving ourselves that love and the right motivation so that we feel that we can really do it. And going back to how this is about bad days, and I'm going to get off track a lot, but it all is in the same family. In these bad days, we can use them as days to actually learn about ourselves and to not judge ourselves for having a bad day and not be critical and shameful for these feelings, but instead investigate why you're having this bad day. Investigate what that feeling is and where it's stemming from, and just being more curious about yourself and not judging yourself, coming from a place of love and with an open mind, and just seeing where these feelings are coming from. Is it from something that happened? Is it from something that they said to you? Is it from a way that you've been feeling about yourself? What is it from? That's the first thing to ask yourself. Like, is this stemming from something? And then asking yourself, why is it making me feel this way? Is it making me feel this way because I'm scared of what other people think? Is it making me feel this way because I'm shameful of something I did? Is it making me feel this way because I'm disappointed in myself? Figure out what that is coming from, and then figure out ways to nurture that feeling and to grow from that feeling. And if you're feeling shame or you're feeling guilt, you need to forgive yourself. It's the only thing that we can do. As long as you learn from your mistakes, that is all we can do as human beings. And we don't need to punish ourselves. We don't need to punish ourselves. We don't need to feel shame. We don't need to feel guilt. The punishment is learning. And as long as you learn and you know that you made a mistake and you genuinely feel sorry, then that's all we can really do. And you are going to choose to not do that again. And you're going to live the next day becoming a better person. And you can't grow when you feel shame and guilt. It's actually impossible. You can't grow when you feel shame or guilt, because you are living in the past and you're here right now and you have the power to choose how you want to feel right now. So you need to let go of that past and you need to be present and say, I'm going to move forward in a positive way. And this is the same with having a bad day. You can feel the feels. Let yourself have that bad day, even though it's not bad. I don't like using the word bad, but you know what I mean. Let yourself have this day where it's maybe not your brightest, because that's okay. And turn it into a day for growth. So do activities to investigate this. Write about your feelings. Write about how you feel on this day. Write about if you feel lonely, if you feel sad, if you feel upset, if you feel shameful. You can write about it. It's such a good outlet to use to get out your feelings and to just physically put them somewhere else. Or even making little videos talking to the camera, even though you'll never show them to anyone. I did this when I was going through a hard time and just kind of like vlogging your emotions. And it's like a therapy method, honestly, like just being able to let it out and talk about it. And it makes you just have a lot more clearer mind about the situation. But on these bad days, I would say just on these growth days, write about it, reflect on how you're feeling, then figure out ways how you can start your next day on a more positive note. And honestly, every day the sun rises and then the sun sets, the moon is up in the sky, and then it repeats all over again. And just like that, we repeat the next day and we go to sleep and we can wake up refreshed. And it is honestly such a blessing that you have a fresh start every single day, and you can think of it that way, because when you go to sleep, I honestly, when I have a bad day, it's like I take that day to really feel my feels. I let out any emotion, because you should never block yourself from feeling emotion. Never block yourself. Your emotions are valid. Even if you're having a bad day for no reason, your emotions are valid and you need to let it out. Listen to some Lana Del Rey and cry for a bit. Like, if that's what you need, then go do that. I love going on long drives and just getting like alone time to just drive and listen to music when I'm having a bad day. That really helps me. And finding these little things that can just bring you back to your center and bring you back to peace when you're having a bad day, whether that's through music, that's through going outside, which really, really helps. Going outside all of a sudden makes your problems seem so much smaller, because when you're inside or when you're on your phone and you're trapped in this like negative mindset, you feel like all your problems are just overpowering you and you're overwhelmed. The second you go outside in silence or with music and you look around and you look at the sky and you look at the trees and you look at a little bug that's on a plant and you look at people walking by, and you realize that this world is so much bigger than we even know, and that we can even comprehend. The universe goes on for infinity. Like, we don't even know how long outer space goes till. Like, that is just a crazy concept. And the fact that you're stressing over something that this boy did, like, you won't even remember that in a year, like, or less, or, you know, like, it's really, in the big picture, not a big deal. And there is so much beauty outside. I'm looking over here because this is the window and I'm talking to the trees. But there's just so much more in the world that is out there, and you walk by people and you realize that everyone's going through things. Everyone has their own story. We all have our own battles we're fighting, and you're not alone. And feeling this way and having these hard days is totally okay. And just using perspective to see the light in the world and realizing that these problems just really aren't that big of a deal, and you're gonna be okay and you're gonna survive, and you have food, you have water, you have people that love you, you have yourself. No matter what, you have yourself, and you're going to be okay. And this will pass. These emotions will pass. And just like in nature, like all of the most beautiful things in nature also have a dark side. And that's just like us too. The ocean is the most beautiful, powerful thing. It covers 71% of the earth, which is crazy. But it also has these crazy storms, this really dark, spooky water. Like, it goes so deep, we haven't even discovered most of the ocean. And it can go through these crazy, wild, intense days where there's storms nonstop and there's so many big waves. But then the sun comes up, everything clears out, and the water is like glass. It is so beautiful and so peaceful. And that's just how we are too. Like, there's going to be storms and there's going to be these crazy waves, and we just have to learn how to navigate them through love and compassion, and realizing the next day the water is going to be smooth. There's going to be a new day, and there's so much beauty all around us. And even like the flowers growing and dying and growing and blooming and blossoming, like everything is always changing, and so are our emotions. So nothing is permanent. Don't feel stuck. Don't feel consumed by these hard days, because they will pass. They will pass. When I also have these hard days, so being out in nature is huge. Going on a walk. I read this somewhere or listened to it somewhere, that the feeling of things passing by you, whether that's cars or people, just things passing by you, is actually very soothing to your body and your mind. And it just shows that everything is moving and that things will go on and nothing's permanent. And I really love that. So I love going on walks or going on a bike ride or going on a drive. And then also doing journaling. And something that really helps me get out of a bad day is doing a gratitude journal, which I know a lot of people are like, oh, a gratitude journal, meh, meh, meh. But they honestly help. Like, the reason people have talked about it so much is because they do help. And sitting down and writing about all the things you are grateful for, you will be able to come up with things, even if they're like the simplest things, like your morning matcha coffee that you love, like matcha coffee. Oh, I was going to say matcha latte, but I mean, I guess I was thinking about coffee too, or your coffee. But like just the little things in life that give you pleasure, you can write about those things and just write in your journal, I'm grateful for this, or I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for my bed. I'm grateful for having clean drinking water. I'm grateful for the sun. I am grateful for the beach. I'm grateful for, there's literally, you should be able to come up with so many things, and then just read that list and really think about each one of those things and how much joy it gives you. And even if you can only think of a few things, that's fine too. But just remembering that there is so much to be happy about, and that you're not going to stay in this negative mindset forever, and just choosing to see the positive. The gratitude journals really help with that. And I think just also doing all of these things. And I know sometimes when you're having a bad day, you have to go to work or you have to do something that you don't want to do. And that is just like the last thing that you want to do. And if you do have to do this, then go to work and just try to get through it. Try to see the positive. Do a little gratitude journal in your head if you can. Take some deep breaths. Just remind yourself that this is going to pass and that you're going to get through this day. And it's going to build strength within you because you can get through a hard day. And then when you go to bed at night, just do some self-love. Do a lot of self-love in any way you can, any way that feels right to you, whether that is taking a hot bubble bath or doing a face mask or watching a movie that just brings you pure joy, doing things that bring you back to your childlike self, maybe like listening to music from when you were younger that you loved, or making art and just splattering some paint all over a canvas, or even just giving yourself a hug. Like, this is something that I started doing when I needed to reconnect with my body and I was feeling very sad and lonely and empty. And giving yourself a hug is a very strange thing because we always give other people hugs, but we don't give ourselves hugs. We put that energy and that loving presence out to other people, but we never like bring it into us. And it's actually such a powerful thing to give yourself a hug, because you are just reminding yourself that you're there for yourself and that you're not going anywhere and you're not alone and you have this body, and just telling yourself, I love you, Ashley, or I love you, whatever your name is listening, I love you too. But by telling yourself that you love yourself and that you're there for yourself, and giving yourself a big hug and squeezing your body, like, it might feel so weird at first, but it's honestly so powerful. And it's just mentally reminding yourself that you're here and you're going to be okay and you're safe. And after you have this day and you do any of these things, then you're going to lay down on your bed. You're going to listen to some soothing nighttime meditation music or whatever you like to do before bed. And just making your space a calming space. This has really helped me even when I'm not having a hard day, when I'm just in everyday life, just adding those little touches to make your life more beautiful and more soothing. And instead of watching some news at night about like 5 murders that happened, maybe like listen to a sleep talk down meditation, or watch a video that inspires you, or read a book, or just do things that are nurturing your soul and not adding this like scared, dark energy to your soul. And then you go to sleep, you're laying down, you're ready to go to sleep, and you're just going to say, today was a hard day, but it's okay. And tomorrow is going to be a much better, much brighter day. I am going to start it off on a positive note. I'm going to wake up feeling fresh and renewed and recharged. And I know that things are going to get better. And then you go to sleep and you can wake up the next morning genuinely feeling better and feeling, even if it's only a little bit better, just keep doing those things to help yourself each day. And the last thing to do when you're having a hard day is move your body in any way that you can. This helps so much. It is so true that when you exercise, it isn't just a physical thing, it is a mental thing. So going on a run, going to the gym, even just doing jumping jacks and dancing around your room, like let this negative energy that's inside of you, this blocked energy, set it free. And I swear you will feel so much better. Even grab a pillow, put it against your face, and scream in it as loud as you can. Let that energy out. And when you scream, let go of whatever is inside of you that is making you feel sad and feel like you're in this funk. Just let it out. And I love to dance. I love to ecstatic dance. I love to turn on music that just is flowing and has tribal beats or techno music or crazy, whatever music I'm in the mood for that day. And I will go in my room, I'll put my earphones in, or I'll go outside in nature, that's the best. And I will just dance crazy. I will let the music just take my body where it wants to and just freely express myself like no one is watching, because no one is watching, and just be free. And I will actually think about the things that I'm letting go of as I'm dancing. So I will let go of the self-doubt. I will let go of the negative energy. I will let go of the shame. I will sometimes even scream those things out loud as I'm dancing. And I've found this to be a very therapeutic method for me. And even if I go out with friends, because sometimes you need to blow off steam and go out with your friends and go dancing and use it as therapy, let go of whatever's holding you back and whatever's feeling like it's stuck inside of you. Use movement to just set free all those negative emotions. It is such a beautiful therapeutic method that I think more people need to know about. And I also love running. I think just sprinting as hard as you can and running as long as you can really helps clear your mind when you're having a hard day. So doing any type of movement you can will really help. Doing yoga, doing anything that you can do, really. Life isn't that easy, no one gives us this instruction manual on how to be happy, and all of a sudden we're just going through the motions and we don't even realize if we're truly happy or not. And we need to actually put in effort to make ourselves happy. And by doing these things, and sometimes they might even seem silly, but they really help. And don't we all just want to be happy? Don't we all want to wake up feeling good and feeling energized and feeling alive? So many of us aren't even alive. I actually just read, that's crazy that I said that, because I actually just read this, and I'm going to read this, and this is going to be the way that I'm going to end this episode. I'm rereading The Four Agreements because I think it is just an amazing book, and I haven't read it in a while, but I just read this last night, and it says, "We don't see the truth because we are blind. What blinds us are all those false beliefs we have in our mind. We have the need to be right and to make others wrong. We trust what we believe, and our beliefs set us up for suffering. It is as if we live in the middle of a fog that doesn't let us see any further than our own nose. We live in a fog that is not even real. This fog is a dream, your personal dream of life, what you believe, all the concepts you have about who you are, all the agreements you have made with others, with yourself, and even with God. Your whole mind is in a fog. Your mind is a dream where thousands of people talk at the same time and nobody understands each other. This is the condition of the human mind. We cannot see what we really are. In India, they call the mitote Maya, which means illusion. It is the personality's notion of I am. Everything you believe about yourself and the world, all the concepts and programming you have in your mind are all the mitote. We cannot see who we truly are. We cannot see that we are not free. That is why humans resist life. To be alive is the biggest fear humans have. Death is not the biggest fear we have. Our biggest fear is taking the risk to be alive, the risk to be alive and express what we really are. Just being ourselves is the biggest fear of humans. We have learned to live our lives trying to satisfy other people's demands. We have learned to live by other people's points of view because of the fear of not being accepted or of not being good enough for someone else. Holy shit, that's powerful. If you haven't read that book, you really should. Reading books like this too, The Untethered Soul, an amazing book that honestly changed the way I perceived myself and my mind. I really recommend it. But yeah, these are all just fueling yourself with good positive energy when you're having a hard day is the best thing you can do for yourself. And also not putting pressure on yourself to be happy and not feeling shameful that you're having a hard day, because it's okay, or a hard week or a hard month or a hard year. We all go through these times, and they will pass, and it's just a time to look at yourself and dive deeper into these feelings and to use this pain as power. Use your pain as power. Use it as a growth experience. Use it as a learning lesson. And soon enough, you will be out of it, and you will be able to look back at that time and be very grateful for those hard days, because they've taught you so much about who you are, and they've built up so much strength within yourself. Okay, we're ending the episode with some homework because we love healthy homework. This is healthy homework for your heart, for your mind, for your body, for your soul. And also, I'm wearing this shirt, and I guess you can't. Oh, yeah, you can see all of it. Women are sacred. Together we rise. I love this shirt. Women are so sacred. I should have worn this when I was talking more about women, but I'll wear it again. Okay, so now if you have your journal or your notes, I want you to write down these things and answer these questions for yourself. So, one, what are some activities, things that you could do that truly make you feel happy and make you feel more connected to yourself? So, is that being outside in nature? Is that being around animals? Is that talking to a friend? Is that journaling or doing art or listening to music? What are the things that bring you back to that peaceful state? And write those down, because you can use those as your anchor for when you're having a hard day to look back at and to incorporate into your day. And you should incorporate them into your day as every day if you can. Next question is, what is something you did as a kid that you loved that maybe you don't really do anymore? So is that dancing crazy in front of the mirror in a funky outfit? Is that finger painting? Is that climbing a tree or doing fun activities in nature? Just think of things that you did as a kid. Mine was definitely dancing, and dancing a lot. Okay, next question is, what is some type of movement that you can do when you're feeling like you have blocked energy? Or what's some type of movement that you can incorporate into your everyday life, whether that's waking up and playing one song and dancing crazy. I love doing that every morning. It really gets your energy flowing, whether it's dancing, running, yoga, Pilates, hiking, just going on a walk, doing jumping jacks, doing boxing. Boxing is great for getting your anger out. That is a really good one. Just write down some different types of exercises, ways that you can move your body so that you can get out of a funk, and things that you can incorporate into your everyday life. Okay, and the next one, you are going to write down 5 to 10 things that you are grateful for. And then write down next to them how they make you feel. So put an emotion with them. So whether it's safe or warm or happy or excited, just write down that emotion next to whatever it is that you're grateful for. And for the last one, write down 3 to 5 or as many as you want, honestly, things that you love about yourself, but try to steer away from any physical or materialistic thing. So make it something about your personality or about something you did or you accomplished, just things that you're proud about for yourself, because there's so many things that you've accomplished, and I bet you have not given yourself enough credit for them, even if they're just small things. But write down some things that you love about yourself, even if it feels weird and it's hard to think of some. There are so many things that you should love about yourself, because I don't even know you, and I know that you are an amazing, beautiful human being, and you are capable of so much more than you give yourself credit for. And I want you to go out this next day or today, whatever time it is, the next day, whatever time it is, I want you to finish this podcast and just try to see the light in the rest of the day or the night, and see the positive that is all around us. And I believe in you, so go believe in yourself. And thank you so much for listening this far, if you're still with me. And make sure to like, subscribe, follow on whatever platform, and go follow the Instagram. And you can DM me, or you can comment on any of the recent posts of any questions you have or any topics you want me to discuss. I will also be doing a Q&A to answer some questions, because I get random questions sometimes and I need y'all to just like put them in one spot so I can answer them easier. But stay involved on all of the accounts and on my personal accounts, because I'm going to have some exciting things coming soon, and I really want to connect with you guys more and build this compassion club to be an actual thing, not just a podcast, but a whole club in real life. So if you want to join, please stick around, because we're going to have new things every single week coming out. Stay beautiful, stay kind, stay compassionate, show yourself some love, and I will see you soon. Bye.